Hey folks, I'm back with Spirit Wave. We spam Blood Wave and send out infinite number of Bone Spirits that do about 500 million damage each. I'm using the Blood Artisan's Cuirass to send out these Blood Waves, or send out these Bone Spirits. And normally you have to run over these Blood Orbs that spawn from Blood Wave and pick up these bones to spawn some of these Bone Spirits. But thanks to the Gore Quills aspect, when I cast Blood Lance, it fires a free Bone Spirit, because it will pick up 3 Blood Orbs. And if you watch my previous video, I go through a longer explanation of this at the intro, but for Hordes, what I end up doing strategy-wise is I stand about here, and I don't move, like the whole fight. Occasionally I'll rotate like to that side, but I can hit the whole room. I can support my teammates by casting like corpse tendrils all the way over there from this point. And once this fight gets going, these bone spirits will home and fire off screen. This blood wave, look, it lands and hits way over here. So the reason I haven't been able to show this video is I need teammates to show you the value. Because you're solo, you gotta run around. But as a team, I can just be a long-range artillery support. So without further ado, will one of you guys hit the altar, see Todd? Or there we go. I'm joined by a couple friends, and if you look at my life and barrier, it's slowly going up from all the blood orb usage. I can see the health bar on the map. I'm just kind of firing at them. Nothing spawning behind me, so I decided to move up a little bit. Something spawned to the west. And if you see that these bone spirits look for a target, and if that target dies, they kind of just slow down and hover in the middle of the map. And that's kind of good, because it becomes a minefield. So the moment the small mobs spawn into the map, they get instantly deleted by the bone spirits, giving us huge Aether bonuses from spawning more events. This is my first game of the day, so I'm a little rusty. But, and during this event, I just keep spamming, and you guys can just hit whatever is the best thing next. I'm running with my clan and fellow GMS non-clan member, D-Todd. And to be fair, these Sorks are probably carrying this a little bit. A little bit is an understatement, they're fucking gods. But when I do this with melee units, my corpse tendrils actually gets a lot more value, because they're just not everywhere all at once. I actually have to remember to not cast Blood Wave too much, because I still don't have enough attack speed to do everything perfect. I might. I'm not the 97%. I need to have enough targets. But what I love about this build is you don't have to be the best player in the world. You can be a dad gamer and put out reasonable DPS. Man, you guys aren't giving me enough time to shine. Can you just like be barbarians and sit in one place? God damn. So I have a variant of this that I was using in Tier 7, where I took off the Path of Ghoul because I couldn't get enough minions to last long enough for me to build up stacks of this maximum essence bonus. And I'm starting to run into that issue with this team because they are such giga chads that, like, nothing is living. Look at that. That just melted. I think I'm out of the timer, actually, but... This is just so satisfying. I feel like a Necro, because, like, yeah, I don't have minions right now, right? But these bone spirits, when you have this many of them, you feel like you're a minion mancer. In spite of it. And I'm just sending out, you know, my goons to do my bidding. Now, if I want to up my damage, I can start using force move and spamming it. And you can see how you can hear more than you can see how many more blood waves are happening now. Just listen to the frequency of the yells. One of the things I'm doing a very poor job of is finding card dispersing and getting that bone prison up, but as you can see, it doesn't matter. Alright, what do we got next? Those small mobs just explode? I need a corpse like here to get the backline to me. If we get the normal mobs spawn extra events, we should hit that. Because that really good for this build. Not sure it's the best overall, but
we just did that
nice.
on the last one.
Thanks, Havoc. So we're using Impersation over Imprisoned Spirit because mobs are dying usually not in my bone prison. Because as you see, things are just dying so fast that I can't even get them into my bone prison. So the 40% damage that's always up is better than the 70% conditional damage that's only going to be up in the boss fight. If I was a real degen, I could bring a ring with Imprisoned Spirit just for the boss fight, but you know, I'm not quite that much of a degenerate yet.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I am. You're not wrong. I'm just not that much of a degenerate yet. You know, I will have that ring soon, right?
That's fair.
Trade's disabled still, right? Or did they fix that?
No, still disabled.
Oh. Yep.
They're none money.
My bone spirits were going the wrong way there for a second. Slowed down my damage. I am a little bit short on cooldown reduction, so I don't think it's mattered, but I should be popping more Crepify. I don't know. I think I'm doing fine by the sound of it. But you see my Bone Spirits are currently only hitting for around 200 million because I can't stack my Essence. When it's fully stacked, my Bone Spirits, like on the boss fight, will do about 500 something million. Average. So there'll be peaks of like 630, 650, and if I had a better Bone Splinters cast twice affix here, Temper, I mean, that they'd be doing about 700 million. I just haven't been able to masterwork that, and that Temper was just such a low roll. Made me sad. You guys have not left much for me to kill.
That's not true. You're killing a lot.
I assume so. Viewers can tell me in the comments I'm doing anything. But it's like I don't even need to know what I'm doing to know that I'm doing damage, because this is just I've got my army.
Yeah, let's summon some
Are you going for Aether Lords?
really tough.
You know, for wave 10, yeah, let's let's do it. Might not be the most Aether, but it'll be give us something to live on the screen for a second. My Bone Spirits are going the wrong way. I gotta get closer. Yeah, I'm seeing like 549 million there, 620, and a couple 480s. But compared to like Serac's like pure DPS build, it's not necessarily a boss killer. It does decent, like 1.2 million or 1.2 billion damage per second. But alright. There's a nice tier 8 horde. Got 730. Not too bad. Here. You don't necessarily need a Harlequin crest to make this work, but you really want a Harlequin crest, because otherwise you need to run cooldown reduction in basically every other piece of gear. And with this Harlequin crest, I'm actually skipping cooldown on 3 slots. You want a Blood Artisan's Cuirass with 3 Blood Orbs, summon a Bone Spirit to get maximum damage, because going even to 4 is like a 25 or 33% damage loss. Want Temerity, because this max life turns into damage. Because max life scales Blood Artisan's Cuirass. It says it scales based off life percent, and so any percentage increase in max life, like almost a percent increase in damage. Same reason we use our Elixir of Fortitude. This gives us bonus essence, and while Blood Artisan's Cuirass only scales with max life, it is a bone skill, and therefore it scales off of duration and ossified essence. So while the Path of Tragul is giving me plus 100 essence, I get an extra like 50 damage, 50% multiplier. Doombringer gives us max life, which means we don't die, and it's a damage multiplier. We just grab a necklace with GA attack speed, and one of the 3 abilities that is a like 5% damage multiplier per skill rank. We can choose Compound Fracture, Evulsion, or Imperfectly Balanced. Technically, in order, you want Imperfectly Balanced, and then Compound Fracture, and then Evulsion. Compound Fracture will basically always be up, because the cooldown will reset while it's still ticking. So unlike Flesh Eater, which has to fall off and then you have to stack it back up, Compound Fracture will just keep stacking itself, and it'll stay up indefinitely. We run ultimate cooldown here because we're skipping it in a bunch of other slots. As for the max life roll on this, that one could be max life because it's about 7% of my max HP. This gets a bunch of multipliers. So like, if I have 111,000 with all my multipliers, this 1255 max life becomes like 8,000 HP or something like that. Which, when I did the math earlier, I could be wrong. It was about 7% of my damage, and compared to, or yes, whatever. It's still a good roll to have on max life, and not dying is really great. Starless Skies, I've gotten like 10 of these because I lived in Tormented Dungeons for a while, and the reason we're running this is it's a 50% universal damage multiplier. It also has extra high attack speed, and I got stupid lucky and I got a GA on one. So this is your like greatest damaging ring. Instead of running Starless Skies, you could be running something with like accelerating or one of the other random damage aspects. Heck, you could throw Intercom in this build and it would just work. And if I wasn't running Shaco, I would have to be running ultimate cooldown reduction on this ring, similar to what I'm doing here. So once again, I'm running attack speed and max life, ultimate cooldown and down reduction, and bone spirit damage. And we're running ossified essence over imprisoned spirit because so few things live long enough at my current gear level for me to even put a bone prison down and wait for the bone spirit to get there. I want to be just firing bone spirits, and as soon as things spawn, I hit them. For our focus, we put crit strike here because we can't put attack speed here. And by putting crit strike here, we can put attack speed on our gloves. Just int, max life, critical strike chance. We run the Bone Splinters projectiles cast twice, and we want a high roll of that. Because the difference between like a 32, a 45, and a 45 that has been masterworked till 60 is that the Path of Trey-Ghoul will give us like so much more max essence that it turns into a damage multiplier through ossified essence. And this Bone Splinter's casting twice, when I had that at like 60, 70 masterworking, it was giving me an extra like 20-30% damage boost that I don't currently have. So you saw me doing like 630 million top end bone spirits to the boss in this boss. If I had a masterworked high roll chance on for bone spirit projectiles to cast twice, then I would have been doing like 720 to 750 million damage for bone spirit. And you know, when you cast them, I gotta ramp for a second because I was completely out of blood orbs at the end. When you cast them as fast as I do, and I cast them slightly faster once I have a target to get cooldown reduction stacks with Decrepify, this turns into like, this is multiple times a second I'm sending out a Bone Spirit. So I'd be doing anywhere, I'm currently doing like 1.2 billion to 1.5 billion, and I'd be doing about 2 billion DPS if I got the perfect masterworking on this. So, in one of my planners, I have boots with exploiters, and I'm running Blight and not Bone Prison. And the reason I'm doing that in that planner, which I probably should have done for this build as well, is Blight is a 20% damage modifier that's faster to activate than Path of Trey-Ghoul. And the aspect you can put on it, the exploiters, is really good for just finishing off a mob that has been, once it turns, like if a mob gets caught at the edge of the screen because it keeps getting pushed back from Bloodwave, it will go unstoppable after a certain point, and when it's unstoppable, it'll start running back towards the screen, and it will just get one shot by the 40% damage multiplier from whatever it is. So it's good for cleanup. I'm not sure it's the best strategy, but it's handy. If I were to run a pit again, in my pit video, I did not use Imprisoned Spirit, so I was losing about 21% total damage. So I should have run that in the pit, because in the pit we have much more control over where enemies are spawning. If you have any questions, post a comment. I'm pretty good at replying to them on YouTube. I'm not that big of a celebrity yet. I will also post a link to the Discord, because our Discord, we have a bunch of discussions. The official Diablo Discord, so there's like 500,000 people in it, but go check in Necro Chat. There's people always answering questions. There is a FAQ where you can find my guide, and there's a sub-thread with the discussion on Spirit Wave, and we post memes. So, still got some masterworking to go. I got to remasterwork this. I've got to finish masterworking this, and these materials from this run will get me there. And yeah, hope you enjoyed the build. Like, subscribe. I'm pretty close to a monetization goal, so much appreciated if you do. And thanks for watching. Have a great day.